What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Tuesday, August 11th, 2015, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Megyn Kelly broke her silence on her feud with Donald Trump during her Fox News show Monday. The friction stems from Thursday's Republican primary debate, where Trump took issue with Kelly's question about his previous comments about women. On Friday, Trump told CNN that Kelly bombed and that she had, quote, blood coming out of her wherever. Trump refused to back down from his tough talk, saying on MSNBC's Morning Joe on Monday that Kelly owes him an apology. On Monday's episode of The Kelly File, the host addressed Trump's criticism and says she does not regret her line of questioning at the debate. Kelly says Trump, who is the frontrunner, will not apologize, and I certainly will not apologize for doing good journalism. So I'll continue doing my job without fear or favor. And Mr. Trump, I suspect, will continue what has been a successful campaign thus far. This is a tough business, and it's time now to move forward. She called Trump an interesting man who has captured the attention of the electorate. That's why he's leading in the polls. On Monday, Trump tweeted that Fox News chairman and CEO Roger Ailes has called him to discuss the flak. Trump wrote of Elias, he's a great guy and assures me that Trump will be treated fairly at Fox News. His word is always good. In a statement issued to the Hollywood Reporter, Elias confirmed the conversation with Trump. Donald and I spoke today. We discussed our concerns, and I again expressed my confidence in Megyn Kelly. She's a brilliant journalist, and I support her 100%. I assure him that we will continue to cover this campaign with fairness and balance. We had a blunt but cordial conversation, and the air has been cleared. Trump is scheduled to be a guest on 2 Fox News programs Tuesday, with appearances set for Fox and Friends in the morning and Hannity that night. The Los Angeles Police Department rolled out additional units Monday for the premiere of Outta Compton as the stars hit the red carpet at LA Live. The step-up police presence included special events officers from the LAPD's Central Bureau, as well as members of the department's gang enforcement detail. Officer Mike Lopez told the Wrap. Lopez said, "We have plenty of resources and officers there in case of any emergency. We wish that everybody enjoys the premiere and has a safe evening." A Wrap reporter who attended the event in downtown LA also noted that there were additional officers on the screen and guests had to pass through metal detectors to enter the theater, which isn't always the case at Hollywood premieres. The Universal Pictures release traced the origins of N.W.A, the gangster rap group Ice Cube co-founded in Compton, California in 1987, along with original members Dr. Dre, DJ Yellow, Arabian Prince, and Eazy-E, who died of AIDS in 1995. Ice Cube, who produced the film, recently told the Wrap that it took years to get the project off the ground. He said, "It was one of the hardest movies I ever had to get made. It's been a 4-year process, and that's just the actual process. But as a dream, it goes back almost 10 years. N.W.A sold millions of records and helped put West Coast rap on the map. But its members also sparked controversy for their explicit lyrics and eyebrow-raising singles such as F the Police, which drew condemnation from law enforcement agencies. Outta Compton arrives in theaters on Friday. LA Weekly was the first to report the news of the increased police presence at the premiere. Universal Pictures did not immediately respond to the Wrap's request for comment. Fantastic Four could lead to more than a $60 million write-off for 21st Century Fox, an analyst said in a research note. The $120 million movie directed by Josh Trank earned just $26 million domestically in its opening weekend. Fox has already warned that its film studio would not make as much in the current year as it did in the prior year. Barton Crockett, an analyst of FBR & Co., said that Fantastic Four amounts to, quote, a negative start to Fox's already cautious forecast for a $200 million year-over-year decline in studio segment profits in a fiscal year 2016. Crockett has estimated that the Trouble film would debut at $27.7 million, but it couldn't even muster that much, a paltry figure compared with that of other movies based on Marvel superheroes. In terms of domestic box office, the 2005 version of Fantastic Four, also distributed by Fox, opened twice as well domestically as did the new version. The new one scored just a C- cinema score, while the 10-year-old version got a B. At the RottenTomatoes.com, the 2015 Fantastic Four received just a 9% fresh rating, while the one from a decade earlier boasted 27%. Crockett blamed Fantastic Four for leading a 30% decline in the weekend's box office compared with last year's for the top dozen titles, in large part due to the poor performance of Fantastic Four over the weekend. Crockett now estimates a 4.3% rise in the domestic box office in the third quarter, 280 base points less than he had previously forecast. Also not helping the overall box office numbers this quarter is the Weinstein Company pulling its animated Underdogs, which was to open next weekend. Crockett estimates Underdogs will see a $40 million domestic run. Yet another coda of the era of physical entertainment product comes Monday in the Chapter 11 bankruptcy petition for Filmed Entertainment, Inc., parent of Columbia House. Columbia House was once famous for operating a mail-order business that enticed consumers with the prospect of cheap records and videotapes. Magazine advertisements touted 11 records or tapes for $1, briefly made the company a juggernaut. Founded in 1955 as a division for CBS before being sold to Sony, Columbia House hit its peak in 1996 with about $1.4 billion in revenue. As the company transitioned to CDs and DVDs, it was passed along to new owners including the Blackstone Group and Bertelsmann, and as a digital media savage its business. It was passed along again to JMAC Corp. And finally Pride Tree Holdings. Last year, net revenues were just $17 million. With $2 million in assets and $62 million of liability, Film Entertainment is now seeking bankruptcy relief for its direct-to-consumer DVD distribution business. According to its petition, the debtor no longer has employees as it's fired 320 employees in the last 3 years and has 200 more transferred to other affiliates. The operations were outsourced to third-party vendors. While it seems that nobody is buying physical entertainment anymore, that's not entirely true. The debtors reported that last year it had 110,000 members still paying for mail-order DVDs, which Columbia House obtains through licensings at agreements at favorable pricing terms with major and smaller film studios. Though not as favorable as in the 1980s and 1990s, when Columbia House was able to offer its members increased deals by paying studio big advances, in 2010, the company shifted to a pay-as-you-go royalty deal with the studio. Many of those studios are now creditors. Universal is said to be owed more than $1 million. Warner Brothers owed nearly $300,000, and Lionsgate is owed $167,000. Paramount, Anchor Bay, Sony, Summit, and CBS are also among the top 20 unsecured creditors. Film Entertainment now hopes that the Chapter 11 process will give some sort of respite from its debtors so as to explore a sale. According to an affidavit by one of the company's directors, they mentioned the valuable assets owned by the debtor includes, for instance, the trade name, which has much goodwill associated with it, the current member base, the list of prior members, content licenses, and an inventory of DVDs in the warehouse. After many years in development at Warner Brothers, Leonardo DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese planned serial killer movie The Devil in the White City has found a new home at Paramount, which just won a bidding war for the high-profile project. An individual familiar with the situation has told The Wrap. Billy Ray, who wrote Captain Phillips, adapted Eric Larson's 2003 nonfiction book, The Devil in the White City, Murder, Magic, and Madness at the Fair That Changed America, and it was Ray's fresh take on the material that had buyers excited last week after Warner Bros. Let its option lapse of the film rights to the book. DiCaprio will play Dr. H.H. Holmes, a prolific serial killer who stalks at the fairgrounds at Chicago's World Fair in 1893. Holmes worked for the producer-architect of the World's Fair, so he had intimate knowledge of the location. The charming sociopath is rumored to have killed up to 200 people and cited the remains for science. Devil in the White City is a great project that languished for years at Warner Brothers, which could never crack the material despite hiring an army of writers, including Oscar winner Graham Moore, who wrote The Imitation Game. The film offers DiCaprio the chance to channel his inner villain, and it's the kind of role that could bring the actor his first Oscar, if The Revenant does not take that honor next February. DiCaprio and Scorsese last teamed with Paramount on The Wolf of Wall Street, which howled its way to 5 Oscar nominations. They also collaborated on The Aviator, The Departed, Gangs of New York, and Shutter Island. Ray wrote and directed The Secret in Their Eyes, which XTX will release on November 20th. The film stars Chiwetel Ejiofor, Julia Roberts, and Nicole Kidman. DiCaprio will next star in Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu's The Revenant, which 20th Century Fox and New Regency will release on Christmas Day. James Corden continues to think outside of the box. The Late Late Show host has scheduled a YouTube-focused episode for August 21st, featuring some of the platform's biggest stars. The episode will be filmed inside YouTube Space LA, where Corden will interview Jenna Marbles, Tyler Oakley, Candy Johnson, and the Slow Mo Guys, and the creators of epic rap battles history, in addition to up-and-coming talent. Late Late Show EP Ben Winston said YouTube has become a big part of the late-night television experience, and we're delighted to celebrate its 10-year anniversary this way. The show will be packed with full of surprises, games, and music, all with a YouTube twist. The decision follows the Corden episode filmed entirely inside a stranger's house that the show did during its first week. The YouTube episode comes as Corden and company are looking for a new way to cut through the late-night clutter, as its lead-in awaits new host Stephen Colbert, and as in the interim periods of repeats that the host immediately was worried about. Since his debut, Corden has received praise for his creativity, which has included dozens of viral videos. And in a related story, rapper Kendrick Lamar will be the first musical guest on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, according to the incoming late-night host. Lamar had previously appeared on Stephen Colbert's prior show, The Colbert Report, on Comedy Central. Colbert said Monday at the Television Critics Association Summer Press Tour in Beverly Hills, "My last musical guest on The Colbert Report was Kendrick Lamar, and I would love for him to be my first musical guest." Lamar, who's won 2 Grammys at the 2015 Grammy Awards for Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song for I. Having taken the reins from David Letterman, Colbert will premiere as the host of The Late Show September 8th. The comic has already confirmed actor George Clooney as his first guest on the new show. He joked Monday, "I wish I could have done better than George Clooney, but he'll do for the first guest." Like Will and Grace, Hulu just launched Difficult People, centered on a woman and her gay best friend living in New York City. But according to creator star Julie Klausner and her fellow actor Billy Eichner, the comparisons end there. During their promotional stop at the Television Critic Association Summer Press Tour Sunday, Klausner suggested that she and Eichner pitched a series about struggling New York City stand-up BFFs Julie Kessler and Billy Epstein, who can't figure out why nobody likes them, as something far less polished than the late 1990s comedy. She said to laughs at the Beverly Hilton Ballroom, adding more serious, "We would like to say we assume you look like you're looking for is Will and Grace if they were unlikable and they were like a 6 and 7. We're dealing with a generation that has way less tolerance for bullshit. They wouldn't want a multi-cam sitcom with 2 really good-looking people." But now that Klausner has completed the series' first season, which premieres August 5th, she takes issue with the classification of her character as unlikable. She explains more about them being ungracious. "The truth of the matter is that you like people who are funny, characters who are funny. Is David Brent of the BBC's The Office unlikable? No, he's an asshole, but he's fun to spend time with, and I think that's the difference." She and Eichner, along with showrunner Scott Kinnon, spent much of the half-hour panel praising Hulu, which stepped in order that Amy Poehler produce comedy after USA opted not to move forward. At the streaming service, the actors, she also writes the off and ad-libs, insisted that they were able to keep the comedy uniquely them, which can make for the obscure pop culture call-outs on occasion. Klausner said, with Eichner adding, "We have Tony Kirshner reference in the first episode of our show. Nobody said boo about it. It's kind of like a dare in a way. It's like, this is who we are, and these are the things that we talk about. We're deeply entrenched in culture, high and low, 24/7. He continued insisting that he didn't miss the so-called advantages of being on a traditional network where viewers understandably would watch the show at the same time. Eichner said, "I don't think we're capable of doing a show that is pandering to the mainstream. Hulu is the right place for difficult people because it allows us to be ourselves. We didn't have to water it down. It's not diluted at all. Take it or leave it. And I don't think we have gotten the same creative license after Mike and Molly." The Exes has been canceled by TV Land, the show's star Kristen Johnson said on Monday night. The actress tweeted its official last 6 eps of @_execs ever start airing this Wednesday. Even great ratings can, quote, #SaveGoodTV. The comedy ran for 4 seasons before its demise. Johnson went on to assure their fans that she was okay and had a number of other projects in the works. She wrote, "I'm fine. I'm working on HBO's #Getting It On this week, as well as my own project I still can't talk about." Johnston played divorce attorney Holly Franklin, who owned a New York City apartment inhabited by 3 of her divorced male clients, played by Donald Faison, John Wayne Knight, and David Allen Bash. Franklin has recently been on a season-long search for a groom after discovering that she has neglected to cancel a long-forgotten wedding date. Johnson told the rap in an interview last November she has a date and a venue and no man. So for 12 episodes, that's what she does. She tries to find a husband. The series was created by Mark Reinsman and produced by Reinsman, Franco Barrio, Michael Hannell, and Mindy Schultz-Tites. The cancellation follows TV Land's June finale of Hot in Cleveland and the end of Soul Man after its 5th season. Drake's If You're Reading This, It's Too Late becomes the first album released in 2015 to sell 1 million copies in the U.S., as the set sold another 8,000 copies in the week ending August 7th, according to Nielsen Music. Its cumulative total now stands at 1.007 million. The album was released on February 12th through Young Money Cash Money Republic Records to debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 charts. If You're Reading This, It's Too Late is the second album to sell 1 million copies in 2015 after Taylor Swift's 1989, which was released in 2014. 1989 has sold $1.463 million copies in 2015 and 5.124 million total. If You're Reading This, It's Too Late is Drake's 4th million-selling album, following Nothing Was the Same, released in 2013, which sold 1.72 million records. Take Care, 2011, which sold 2.26 million copies, and Thank Me Later in 2010, which sold 1.8 million copies. A 13-year-old boy at a Taylor Swift concert was hurt when he fell from an upper level of Seattle's CenturyLink Field. The Seattle Times reported that the call to the Seattle Fire Department came in 6 minutes after the 7 p.m. Saturday show was scheduled to begin. He fell from the stadium's 300 level to the 200 level. But fire spokesman Kyle Moore says he was stable, alert, and conscious when medics took him to the Harborview Medical Center. Moore says the boy couldn't remember what happened to make him fall. And now let's look back at what happened on this day in entertainment history. On this day a year ago, actor and comedian Robin Williams, who rose to prominence in the late 70s in the hit TV sitcom Mork and Mindy, then went on to star in a dozen films, including Dead Poets Society, Miss Doubtfire, and Good Will Hunting, and was found dead at his home in Tiburon, California, after committing suicide. As a performer, the versatile and inventive Williams was known as both a comedic genius with the rapid-fire delivery and talent for his impressions, as well as an accomplished dramatic actor who took on a broad range of roles. After his death, it was announced the 63-year-old entertainer had been suffering from severe depression and was on the early stages of Parkinson's disease. In 1978, Williams, who began performing stand-up comedy in the 70s, made a guest appearance on the long-running TV sitcom Happy Days, playing an alien called Mork from the planet Ork. The character soon got his own spin-off series, Mork and Mindy, which aired from 1978 to 1982, and skyrocketed Williams to fame as a rainbow suspenders-wearing extraterrestrial who catchphrases include Nanu Nanu and Shabbat. On the big screen, Williams made his debut in the 1977 low-budget comedy Can I Do It Till I Need Glasses? Then went on to appear in films such as The World According to Garp in 1982, Moscow on the Hudson in 1984, and Good Morning Vietnam in 1987, for which he earned his first Academy Award nomination in the Best Actor category for his performance as an Army Force radio disc jockey. Williams also received Best Actor Oscar nods for his role as an influential English teacher in the Dead Poets Society and his role as a delusional homeless man in The Fisher King in 1991. Among the prolific performers, other credits are Aladdin in 1992, in which he voiced the part of the genie, Mrs. Doubtfire, in which he portrayed a British nanny, and Good Will Hunting, for which he won an Oscar in the Best Supporting Actor category for his role as a therapist. Williams followed these projects with films including 1 Hour Photo in 2000, The Night Listener in 2006, the Happy Feet series 2006 to 2011, and the Night at the Museum series 2006 to 2014. The actor made a comeback to network TV in 2013 with CBS's The Crazy Ones, in which he starred as an eccentric ad exec. However, the series was canceled after 1 season. Williams was involved in a number of charity causes, such as co-hosting telethons along with Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg for Comic Relief, an organization that helps homeless people. The actor also was a regular on USO tours, entertaining American troops around the world. In his stand-up routines, Williams spoke openly about his experience with substance abuse and sobriety. After Williams committed suicide by hanging on August 11, 2014, tributes poured in from the Hollywood community and beyond. President Barack Obama said that of the entertainment, he was an airman, a doctor, a genie, a nanny, a president, a professor, a bang-ranging pattern Peter Pan, and everything in between, but he was one of a kind. He arrived in our lives as an alien, but ended up touching every element of the human spirit. And that is your entertainment report for Tuesday, August 11th, 2015. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. Or on Twitter @The Enter Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com. Go search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.